Jessica Valenti has a book called He's a Stud, She's a Slut, and 49 Other Double Standards Every Woman Should Know. And she has 50 in here, and I'm going to read some of them because they seem obvious, but we sort of take it for granted. We accept a lot of double standards without thinking, okay? Here's something to think about. He's a stud, she's a slut. Despite the ubiquity of slut, where you won't hear it is in relation to men. Men can't be sluts. Sure, someone will occasionally call a guy a dog, but men simply aren't judged like women are when it comes to sexuality. And if they are, they're judged in a positive way. Men who have a lot of sexual partners are studs, Casanovas, pimps, and players. Never sluts. In fact, when I just did a Google search for male sluts, the first result I got was She Male Sluts DVD. I know I should have seen that coming. The point is there isn't even a word, let alone a concept, to signify a male slut. But it makes sense when you think about what the purpose of the word slut is, controlling women through shame and humiliation. Women's bodies are always the ones that are being vied over for control, whether it's rape, reproductive rights, or violence against women. It's our bodies that are the battleground, not men's. And if you don't think it's about control, consider this little bit of weirdness. The most recent incarnation of the sexual double standard being played out in a seriously creepy way is through purity balls. These prom-like events basically have fathers take their daughters to a big fancy dance where they promise their daddy their virginity. Likewise, the father promises to be the, quote, keeper, unquote, of his daughter's virginity until he decides to give it to her future husband. Where are the purity balls for men, you ask? Oh, they're there. They're about controlling women, too. Called integrity balls, these events focus on men not having sex because they'd be defiling someone else's future wife. Not because men need to be pure or be virgins, because they need to make sure women are virgins. Unbelievable, really. Outside of the feminist implications of the sexual double standard, the stud-slut conundrum has always been my favorite because it just makes no sense logically. Why is a woman less of a person, or my favorite, dirty because she has sex? Heterosexual sex, that is. Somehow lesbian sex isn't, quote, real, unquote. Does a penis have some bizarre dirty-making power that I'm unaware of? Every time I have sex, do I lose a little bit of my moral compass? Sorry to mug you, Grandma, but I had sex twice this week. And let's face it, the slut stigma isn't just dangerous to our reputation or to some weird-ass notion of purity. How many times has a rape been discounted because a woman was deemed a slut? How many times are women called whores while their partners beat them? How often are women's sexual histories used against them in workplace harassment cases? The sexual double standard is a lot more dangerous than we'd like to think. So, what to do? First and foremost, stop calling other women sluts. It doesn't behoove us to bash each other, and speak out when you hear men do the same. I'll never forget in college overhearing a conversation that my boyfriend's roommates were having. They both had slept with the same girl over the course of the year. They called her a whore, made a joke about her vagina being loose. I asked them why she was the bad person in this scenario. After all, they'd had casual sex with her too. They couldn't provide an answer. It didn't stop them from continuing to laugh. I always regretted not saying anything more. Outside of calling ourselves and others out on perpetuating the double standard, it's a hard battle. I think if we recognize the hypocrisy of the stud-slut nonsense when we see it, whether it's an anti-choice law or a movie that makes women who have sex look like deviants, we're on the right road.